spooky little guy. Sing through the fog, old Gotsy's sleigh. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Sing through the fog, old Gotsy's sleigh. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Sing through the fog, old Gotsy's sleigh. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Sing through the fog, old Gotsy's sleigh. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7.
And oh, well, there we are. Let's put our little bow tie. Oh my gosh, lots of chats. There were 6 waiting, but I guess I'll skip second. I did have a very short stream an hour earlier because I was off with the timing. I mixed up my 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. Yeah, I started the stream early and then immediately ended it. You think that's fair? Can I record the videos and upload? Well, I guess I could technically do these ones. I record it. Hey, brasmak. There you go. It'd be really hard for me to do that with these videos though, because I do have the chat rolling live, so you'd immediately be able to tell. Yeah, whenever you go back to working in schools, you always get hit with the sickness. It's the first time that happens to you is always the worst. Because I went like 4 years ago was when I first worked in schools. And I was hit so bad. I was out of commission for like 2 weeks. Yeah, Penguin. I do struggle with the concept of time zones. They are walking disease factories. It's true. I know I didn't give them an apple. I should have. Survival of the fittest of the schools. Eventually, you just get a super immune system. But until then, you just get to be super sick. Or die, yeah. Pretty much. Ooh, I have a new Well, thank you, brasmak. Let me see how many more we need until I can add another emote. I need one more member and we get our 6th emoji. We have a Lash mirror. Doesn't really seem like a fantastic Lash map. There's some decent forests for sure. You can always use cities. You can be Kindle Light. Yeah, I'm not very convinced that these missile platforms super matter. This one does. So does this city. Lash can break this pipe seam pretty quickly, even without a comm tower. Hey, Kratos. Doing alright, just coming down with the sickness. But let's hop into this. This is AllahSyriaBashar. I'm not quite sure. Is Bashar also kind of a god-ish word, if I remember correctly? Versus Matthjass. Almost Matthjass, but there's an extra T in there just to make life difficult. Bashar is the ruling family of Syria, not nice people. Oh, that's not good to hear. Jazzy math. We have Cobalt Ice as Lash versus Yellow Comet also as Lash, and away they go. So there's a few things that Lash can do, much like Kindle, and with being like very aggressive on this 2 base against 1 base side, because an artillery can go straight to this city and break this pipe seam in 2 turns. Which will allow very fast flooding out to attack here, should the players wish to. It doesn't look like we're seeing that. Although I think maybe this is the turn that they could do it. Oh, okay, never mind. We have the fast artillery from Cobalt Ice over here. And fast artillery over here. Okay. So that we might be seeing some aggression from both players. Ooh. And Yellow Comet really rushed to this comm tower, which is something I wouldn't recommend, because holding this would be an absolute nightmare. You kind of give up getting a property and your infantry in order to take a comm tower in the early game for a short amount of time. Yeah, I'd much prefer to go for one of these cities, like we see Cobalt Ice going for here. Ooh. So for Matthjass, this is fine to use the artillery here, but just make sure you go onto the city so you can break this faster. I guess you don't need to if you're going to use the mech shot, the tank shot and stuff. Yeah, you can see this isn't working out great. I guess it'll help break this pipe seam. But you lose the infantry, you're down in captures. It's painful. More artillery pump coming out here. Lash does get some pretty nasty artillery shots. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of tactics you can use around breaking pipe seams, because it's really hard to spot attacks through a pipe seam, because you like click on this tank and it shows that it's like threatening over here and it can threaten down here, but actually it can threaten all the way over here too, because the pipe seam won't be there anymore. And it just makes life really difficult when you're scanning the battlefield to see where the threats are. When you click on stuff and it lies to you about where it can go. Well, it doesn't lie to you, but it's not showing you what's possible next turn because the pipe seam just won't be there anymore. So that can invite a whole bunch of different strategies. Like so. Pipe seam will be updated at the end of the turn for its destruction. Okay. So, in this case, both of the 1 bases are suddenly being put under quite a bit of pressure. Although this one has a copter coming at it at the same time as 2 different artillery, although this pipe seam's not broken yet, so debatable as to which one's feeling more pressure. Probably this one. Copter from the side is with a flank is really nasty. And also it seems we have quite the infantry conga line approaching as well. So we're just going to go for a giant squeeze on this 1 base. Oh, hi, Elise. Anti-air got built over here, I guess anticipating that the copters would come down this way. And this is something that's really nasty about copters in these mixed base kind of maps, is that they often force anti-air buys on multiple fronts. And then they have a very easy time just not going to that front. I would say that this is definitely a base rush map, but there's a lot of people in the community that say it's more about center control. As you can see here, the center is completely untouched. The maker of this map is in the chat there, Elise. Elise is known for making a lot of HQ rush and base rush maps. A really big fan of putting heavy terrain around bases. And as I've said many times, heavy terrain makes the base weaker because it's easier to block it. And then block it and then lock it with artillery. But I haven't seen this before with this huge migration from this corner over into the middle and against this 1 base. Now this is a double lab map, if I remember correctly. You go in this lab and this lab. So if you run out of labs, you'll lose the game. It does make this migration a little more risky. Because if Cobalt Ice loses this lab, and then all of these infantry leave over here, Yellow Comet can just come and take this one. Oh, all of this one's getting taken too, so it's not so bad. At least makes very good maps. Okay. Compliance is resorting to some mechs for defense over here. Just lets the city go, which I think is correct. It's definitely very difficult to hold that when it's so close to this other base. Ooh. Okay, so this tank is attacking the infantry on the city, which does invite it to be hit by a tank, a Lash tank from a city, which is pretty good damage. But I assume we're gonna have any artillery trying to guard it. And this is where things get really tough for a lone base if it's being attacked by an airport and bases at the same time. Because if you build a tank, you just get attacked by a copter and then shot with the artillery. So you have to build the anti-air, but then that just gets shot by the artillery. And then maybe gets hit by a tank. We'll see. You're kind of stuck in a lose-lose situation. Because you're being hit by 2 different tech paths. Build a battleship, easy choice. That is an option. It's a very expensive option. That is an option. Oh, it lived at 1. That's pretty nice, because it'll heal up to 3, and then it'll also get to strike from a harbor. Extra firepower. And we'll see. This is always going to be an annoying choice, but yeah, I agree with hitting this tank, just to try and alleviate as much of this pressure as possible. And now the anti-air is being forced, but the base isn't quite locked yet, so it's okay. But you can definitely see how this becomes a base race, as both players are just kind of investing in crushing the lone base. Ooh, the harbor's been captured. There, you can see how good it is. And the anti-air even just goes to 3 health. Because the hit for the harbor is Lash. Does 5 damage. Only takes a damage. Anti-air health. It's strong stuff. But now it's like, what do you even build at this base, right? There's 2 tanks, there's an artillery, and there's 2 copters, one at 4 health that are staring at it. So like, you could build a medium tank and try and hold, or you can just build an infantry and accept that it's going to die. There we go. So what this means is that this base is now defeated, but this one isn't defeated yet. So now suddenly Cobalt Ice can send all of their investments down here to try and hold. So this would be the reasonable time to build like a battleship here, or start cranking out mega tanks and that kind of thing. So this is usually a GG moment, and yeah, there we can see the mega tank. Because if this base falls, which it definitely looks like it's going to, and this one doesn't, then suddenly it becomes 3 base versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 base. And that's just a ton more units you get, as well as a ton more map control. Ooh, the black boat for some more delivery of infantry. Very fancy. And we have the bomber. So Cobalt Ice doesn't have enough money right now to build another mega tank, but could always join these tanks together, or these copters, and then just keep cranking out mega tanks. This anti-air is perfectly placed out of range of this bomber, which is nice. But it's not actually, because we have pipe seam shenanigans here. The artillery can break the pipe seam that's at 3 health, and then the bomber can come this way. And that's how sneaky it is. Thank you, Emp. We went with a mech buy. I would want to start pumping out really expensive stuff. Or more anti-airs. Although I guess you don't really want to lose over here. Oh. The bomber decided to come after the mech? I would use it to just kill this anti-air off. That will just clear this entire area very nicely. Although using infantry to block it is pretty good too. We have another bomber built. Okay, the mega tank just goes back onto the base, so we're not going to start spamming them. Spamming them can be pretty good though. Prime tactics. You can go prime tactics battleship, so it's hard for the bombers to kill you off. Medium tank over here. Anti-air. Okay. I like this this situation with the copters can be hit by the anti-air, but they're all covered by a artillery on the lab for extra firepower for Lash. Oh, wow. On the 6. Better surround it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this base is going to die. It needed a little bit more invested in trying to keep it alive. But it's going to die fairly slowly in comparison to this one that's already gone. There's a lot invested in killing it off. There should be a lot of gains possible here for Cobalt Ice on other parts of the map. And we have the fighter built. Definitely good against double bomber. Economically, though, Yellow Comet's been doing fine. Picked up a lot of these cities. Even if killing the base has been a lot slower. But, ooh, down it goes. Gotta be a little careful with these bombers. Once the fighter shows up, it's gonna be lots of zoning going on. Bombers are like mosquitoes to the Vega, yeah. Okay, so we have started to build a nice front here, kind of splitting the map vertically. When it comes to the actual unit value, Yellow Comet is actually doing really well. Which is not something I expected with the base falling so much sooner. The last Yellow Comet property is being cleared up on top. We have a Lash normal power here. And for an attack on this medium tank. We got that tank. Hit anti-air. Okay, ooh, we get a nice hit on this bomber all the way down to 1. Okay, the fighter is in a central position. There's triple artillery coming in this way, so this base could also end up falling. The Yellow Comet does go for prime tactics, get some nice artillery shots. Super kills that 1 health infantry. Kill off the medium tank. Finds a way to hit this artillery. Sadly from Joel's with a bomber. Dives way in there. That's going to die. So that's a bomber for an artillery. I mean, the anti-air will be able to cover. So there will be an anti-air shot on the fighter. Most likely. That's still a very unfortunate trade. Well, okay, I lived at 1, thanks to the 10-10 stats of having the power active. Ooh. Right over here is a lot of infantry, but there's only a 7 health tank way over here, so this anti-air will be able to get some nice work done. These tanks have been surrounded. They're doing their best. Infantry being attacked, so usually that's because you want to retreat from the area and you want your opponent to capture these cities a lot slower. Lash losing bombers seems to be all the rage lately. There's some other Lash game with bomber loss. I don't remember yesterday. I don't remember if there was one yesterday. There. Ooh, it goes for the copter. Didn't go for the fighter. Well, fighters, I mean, I imagine the idea with not going for the fighter is that there's not many air units left. But the fighter is also a really, really good blocker. That could come back to bite Yellow Comet, although again, way ahead in that unit value. Although it is an ongoing brawl. Ooh, we have the battleship built. Got the prime tactics halfway through the turn. A little unusual. Come in here, kill off a 2 health tank, kill off a 3 health tank. Take out that infantry. You have a 2k income lead for Cobalt Ice and comes down and starts capturing the city. The fight over here is looking really good for Cobalt Ice so far, unit count wise, but you know, the inverse is also true over here for Yellow Comet. Although, this battleship will be able to shut down a lot of stuff. Down goes the infantry. This anti-air's been having a field day. It's down to 13 fuel, but it's actually going to potentially run out here. The 1 health bombers keep... Oh, this one got repaired up to 2. There again, I mean, much like the fighter, they make for great blockers, and they can still go for very annoying little pings. Anti-air strike, infantry strike. Okay, fighter retreats. Ooh, okay, it's just a general fallback here for Cobalt Ice. And Yellow Comet dives forward, but that reduces down to 7 fuel. So this is no longer able to make it to the black boat to be refueled. And if it doesn't die, we'll just eventually be stuck there, unable to move. Land vehicles don't, like copter, flying vehicles and ships, they die when they run out of fuel. Land vehicles just are unable to move. They become little turrets. Okay, so we're diving in here. This is definitely an overextension. Even if you weren't like counting or like too aware of the base reach, you can look at where does the property switch ownership, and they switched ownership way back here. So definitely dive in a little deep here. But if there's nothing there to threaten you, then you might as well. Looks like we're starting to have like a collapse happen on the center. The fighter doesn't want to get involved with these anti-airs, okay? And note that the fighter's making sure that even if they have power active, and they get to go through these forests faster, they won't reach. Neo tank in the center. Thought we might have a surround attempt on this fighter, but it can still escape. Okay, lots of pressure on this city. Yellow Comet is down 4k. Okay, there we go. We do have a surround on the fighter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with a power, the anti-air will be able to hit it next turn. And the fly fuel. Decides to kill the copter. Medium tank comes in and kills there. Anti-air kills this bomber. And suddenly you can actually block off access to the fighter and keep it nice and safe. Ooh, you need to put an infantry here though, I believe. Oh, I guess we'll find out. And the fight over here is nice and ongoing. Artillery. Oh, the battleship doesn't reach this, so the artillery is able to reach this, and then the battleship's able to cover the artillery. We have the terrain tactics. Has charge for the super. Goes for the forbidden technique. Okay. Does give access to hitting the fighter. I needed the... It would have to be a full health infantry. Ooh. Okay. Kill off that artillery. That's pretty nice. Bomber goes for a little tag there. These central cities are being captured. This one's going to be captured next turn. This still has 2 turns on it. That's a pretty good forbidden technique. I don't know if it's better than using the super, just because the super has the sort of defense associated with it. Oh, forbidden technique in response. In Cobalt Ice. Fighter dives in here. This is a little sad of a hit because you get hit down to 8 and it just repairs up to 10. So you're just kind of draining funds rather than weakening the actual army. That tank. Down goes that tank. We're gonna have an infantry interrupt here, and yeah, the battleship just gets to kill off a tank, which is nice. The battleship has been getting some serious value. Okay, so one city is gonna flip here. We get 27 to 25k, and Yellow Comet's ahead in both unit count and unit value, which is very nice. Although overall, in just general tech, it does look like Ice is ahead. We have the battleship, we got a Neo tank against just a 1 health bombers left and a medium tank, so it's just tons and tons of lower tech units fighting into the higher tech ones. Fighters down to 14 fuel. I mean, it can keep poking away here, just draining a little bit of money every turn. Ooh, there was a join cap on this city, so it's gonna have to they have to lose a whole battle copter to save that. And then this one gets to attack for essentially free because this anti-air is just going to kill off the full health one. Ideally, you would actually kill off this infantry so that you don't have to deal with capture of a capture rate of 1 requirement next turn. Also, moving the infantry into range of this artillery is a little weird. Okay, so this city also flips. So if this one, which looks like it's going to flip pretty soon, does, then the income advantage will go to Yellow Comet. Ooh. The normal power charge in to hit this Neo tank. Okay. Oh, there's no anti-air in range. This copter does get this kind of bully stuff. Another big attack using the normal power. Yeah. Now this has to be killed off entirely to save the city. Which is possible. There's a copter and a tank here after all. Or just double copter, sure. And now a tank can strike from the city, which is nice. And the tank can strike this anti-air. Kablam. Oh no. The Neo tank dies attacking the medium tank. It does give enough charge for a normal power. Okay. Tank attacks. Anti-air hit the artillery. 5. This is very, very scary. This is a 5 health artillery, but it is on a city, so it's definitely going to hit really hard. It lives at 1. I think it gets killed off, but it takes up another hit. Okay, Cobalt Ice managed to save this city. It was expensive, but it got done. Anti-air got tagged down to 4, but it's still alive, so it can definitely deal with this battlecopter. And at this point, there's nothing really that can deal with the Neo-tank production until this bomber shows up. So I think Lies is going to be able to secure this front. It's just been quite the task to do so. I would have liked to see this anti-air attack from this forest tile. Extra firepower. Okay. All of the artillery are injured. So I don't know why this battlecopter is diving into this nightmare scenario. Hit the tank there. For the most part, you can just kind of stay back. I like the idea of having the indirects defending the city while the indirects themselves are defended by the battleship. I think that was a good strategy. And would recommend returning to it. Oh, we have another copter here. I'm going to do it. We have an anti-air there. Oh my gosh, the unit count disparity is getting kind of large. We're at 42 units versus 18. A lot of these units are injured, but that's a large gap. Kill off that tank. Copters do get beat up on. Yellow Comet now has the income lead. Way ahead in unit count. I didn't even see we have double black boat. Well, you know, you gotta have a black boat to save your black boat. Okay. We just go for the city on the outskirts, which is usually a good idea. And lock that down with a bunch of indirects. Oh. Joined tanks together. Bunch of indirects and infantry. Just use that unit count. The battleship really doesn't want to move. I guess that is just the best spot for it. I'm surprised the city actually fell when it stares at it. It must have had better targets. Wow. Okay, well, trying to take out the artillery. Try and save the city, but at the cost of an entire copter for it, because the battleship doesn't cover like these two tiles. Oh, never mind the anti-air attack from the city. I don't know how that happened. Cobalt Ice knew the Yellow Comet would refuse to keep the anti-air alive. Oh, here's that anti-air. It survived. It's at 3 health, 0 ammo, 0 fuel. The APC is on its way to save the day. It can now move. It can now heal. Double repair, I like it. Have a little repair hub set up for the air units. Okay, yeah, battleship just kills the anti-air. I don't know how that went down there, but that's okay. Double Neo-tank diving in. Diving into artillery range? What did it kill? I killed an artillery. Artillery on a city and a bomber here. We have a rocket on the way. Terrain tactics. Sadly doesn't let any anti-air reach that bomber. Okay. Managed to get ahead in unit value after that, but the prime tactics response here looks like it's going to be absolutely devastating. 6 damage. That Neo-tank. 4 health sacrifice. Neo-tank down. Ooh, this one gets ignored. Black boats save each other. Be a very tough city to defend again. For Cobalt Ice will be expensive sacrifices. Surprised this new tank survived, but okay. Or I guess it's on a city, so you don't really want to attack it. Not the APC. APC gone. Oh, and the anti-air that the APC saved. Ooh, bomber gets hit. That's great. I think we're just going to let the city go, which will give us a 4K lead for Yellow Comet. All of the anti-airs on the front have been taken out. It just goes to pick off some units. Out of tank range, although 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, even with terrain tactics. Try and bully it. Oh, we got some infantry moving into the center. The unit count has started to shrink a little, or unit count disparity. Oh, okay, we got rockets coming out from both players at this point. Moving forward, bomber just dived into anti-air range. Did it kill off a neo tank? Okay, killed off a neo tank. That makes sense. Luckily, this artillery is locking this city, so should be holdable. Very good artillery usage from Yellow Comet this game. Goodbye, bomber. Knew you well. Break in here. Ooh, the rocket gets hit. Terrain tactics for the +10/+10. Oh, to make it around here and hit the artillery. Okay, that makes more sense. Goodbye, rocket. Okay. The rocket and battleship holding this with a line of tanks. There goes after the infantry. Cobalt Ice is making some progress here. The lander's built. We got double black boat and a lander. I mean, it does pick up tanks immediately. And Yellow Comet does have that 4K income lead. So I guess it makes sense. The mech comes in. It's a nice hit. We're at 32-37. The unit count is almost completely caught up. Tank's chilling here, but there's nothing to shoot it, so it should be fine here. Bomber's getting mass repaired. I would probably just build a new bomber because I mean the airport's right there, and you can always use that 1 health bomber as a nice blocker, for instance. Okay. There's so many units grouped up here. Oh, Center City starting to be captured for Cobalt Ice. Oh, we have a breakthrough. That can kill off this medium tank. That can kill off this artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So with a power use, the Neo Tank can hit this tank, but not this Neo Tank. Or the lander didn't pick up a tank, it came back here. That's a weird thing to do. You just built it here. The Neo tank just backs up, no power used. We have triple black boat to repair the bomber. I guess it should be noted that part of the unit count and a good chunk of the unit value right now is in transport units for Yellow Comet. Landers used to move an infantry. Okay. So many black boats. Oh, the city starts to fall. So does this one. Control over these central cities is imminent. Yellow Comet does still have, there we go, the prime tactics. So I don't see a great way to make it to that need. Oh, never mind, there's a bomber there, of course. Go through here, smack. Goodbye, Neo tank. I think that does cost this bomber its life, though, so the trade isn't as good as it looks. Okay, this is a bold attack by Yellow Comet, moving right into this battleship range with a rocket. It is a prime tactics rocket on a forest, but still. Down goes this bomber. He starts to fall. Rocket gets hit down to 4. You think goes down to 9. That's just an infantry bot over here. Very calm, collected with this attack, or I guess defense. Or we have double shot on the battleship. Knock it down to 4. It'll pair up to 6, but it's still gonna have targets to shoot, so it's pretty happy with that. Sorry about that. Had to sneeze. I'm a sick penguin. Okay. We are breaking through-ish over here for Yellow Comet. This has kind of been a huge investment unit count-wise. So if this attack fails, I feel like Yellow Comet will probably lose the game off of it. This is the majority of the investment. This side looks like it's pretty much dying. It's got it's got like as many transport units as vehicles over there. Oh, there's the anti-air in the middle. Smack for the Neo tank. Break all the way through here. We might even have an infantry. Oh, we didn't. You can definitely have your infantry attack the Neo tank here, unless you really, well, I guess you want it to have the full hit points, but the luck damage has a decent chance of always knocking this down too. Okay, the anti-air gets shot here by the battleship. Break through to kill this mech. There's going to be a lot of indirects that can fire next turn. Yeah, this anti-air getting knocked down to 2 does mean that the copters will be able to help defend over here. Somehow this rocket completely unguarded is actually safe, just because the main composition of the attacking force is artillery right now. Oh, knocked the battleship down to 3, down to 1. It survives thanks to prime tactics. Oh, but we might have a tank attack it and take it out. Oh, it lives. The mass repairs. Trying to bring the Neo tank back up to snuff. I don't understand what's going on with this lander. I guess it's going to transport this infantry. Well, ice attacks. Breaks through. Copter down to 3. Double medium tank here. And come a whole bunch of artilleries to help cover. Well, they don't cover this tile. Ooh. Both of these labs are looking mighty vulnerable at this point. Battleship did step off of the harbor to allow this tank strike. Oh, rocket does get hit down to 1. Then the prime tactics gets used. So this is still working as a wall. Yellow Comet is also recognizing the vulnerability of the labs, going for this one. Lander drops off. Yeah, they do go for the strike from over here because it's out of the range of the artillery. And then we have a battleship built here as well. And that's a very well supported battleship. It's got 3 black boats that can surround it and repair it. This lab does start to get captured. Ooh, that doesn't seem like a good attack to me, because that does put that in range of this artillery. Just do 1 damage. Okay. There's only 1 anti-air over here, so Yellow Comet can definitely shoot it and then start building air if need be. Kind of similar to what happened on this side. All right, we're completely cleared out on this. Ooh, down goes the copter, wiped out by the foot soldiers. And defenders are completely wiped out over here. Yellow Comet looks like they're going to be able to survive on this base. No other mech of decent health or in range that can join this capture. That's one of the weaknesses of mechs in comparison to infantry, is that there's less of them and they're slower. So when it comes to capturing stuff, you don't have those same join threats. Okay, you have 2 attacks on the battleship, knocking down to 6, but it can be repaired with just the harbor and then 2 black boats as well. Be up to 10 if it wants to be. Ooh, okay, we have the mega tank bot over here. Try and save the base. Lab does start to get captured. Goes the battleship, rest in peace. There's the double repair on the battleship over here. Kills an artillery. Okay, this is starting to look GG. For Yellow Comet's victory. Although, man, Cobalt Ice was really close to a breakthrough. You hit the battleship. You get the prime tactics. have to fall back. And that means that these labs aren't being captured. So now there has to be a huge focus on keeping this one alive. Okay. Lab captured, harbor captured. We have an APC built to keep this mega tank supplied. Okay. More repairs on the battleship so we can fire. You get to kill the only anti-air over here, which is huge. A tank repaired. Or not repaired, but refueled. Copter. You might see Yellow Comet build a battleship here, or a carrier or something. There is the capture starting on the last lab in the game. Ooh, okay, we do have the carrier built. Just the normal power used. I think saving up for the super would probably be worth it. Thinking of the long term for trying to capture this lab. But the normal power might be fine. The carrier does put a lot of pressure on the air units over here. We'll see if Cobalt Ice is able to get a breakthrough to save it. They are both in range of the carrier, so it gets its choice to kill a bomber or a copter. I wonder which it will choose. Ooh, or it can choose a bomber. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, with a normal power, this anti-air not going to be possible. That was the bomber. I assume we're going to join cap this. Yeah, all this army has to come over here, try and save the lab, or it's just game over. But that's looking like a tough task. Okay. We do have a mega... You don't see this every day, but we do have a mega tank on a lab attacking a carrier on a harbor. Both Lash boosted. Oh. We have broken through. Carrier's gone. Artillery gets hit. There's nothing that really can deal with this anti-air, so I think this lab is saved at the last second. You have a join cap for it. The bomber does get taken out. Okay, the anti-air does indeed get to stay here and save the lab. Yellow Comet is up 4K in income. But it does take a lot of hits trying to go for this lab. We're so close to getting it. Medium pink is now sitting on it. Kill off infantry. Another bomber. We have seen so many bombers die. Oh, where did the black boats go? Did they all join together? Yeah, they got joined together. For the money. Copters retreat. Another attack on the medium tank. Gonna die for it, sadly. There's some healthy infantry over here, so the lab will get taken back. The harbor will probably get taken back. Hacking into this, getting a little spicy. The APC's sticking close to this mega tank. So somehow Cobalt Ice was able to defend over here and get this lab back. Still behind 4K, which is definitely painful, but 24K is enough money to fight against 28. I actually managed to catch up in unit count, which just goes to show how much Yellow Comet had to give up in order to go for that lab attempt. Oh, breakthrough in the middle. Harper starts being captured back. The bomber gets to kill an anti-air while out of range of the other anti-airs. This is why anti-airs always need a buddy system when dealing with bombers. Which is, of course, a lot easier said than done. Okay. Battleship did get to fire. The tank gets to kill there, although it's in range of a mega tank. Okay, the city's still being captured. This one has a ways to be captured, but this harbor is going to get taken back by Cobalt Ice here. Now a 2K deficit. Down goes that Neo tank. Rest in peace. Prime tactics is used. Saves that city. Kill off some infantry. Nothing over here that can deal with the battleship right now, so you don't want to get too close to stuff. And that's okay. Bomber comes in, kills off an anti-air, but this one did have a buddy. So it's going to take some serious blocking, which it looks like it's done. Although I guess probably a super can break this. Oh, the anti-air doesn't try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So I think super Neotake kills this APC, I can only imagine. And then anti-air can kill the bomber. But I guess the super doesn't want to be used. And now the two mega tanks are going to zone each other. If you didn't know, mega tanks hit each other at the same power level that copters hit each other. So they're very squishy to one another. They can zone themselves very effectively. Although unlike copters, they do get to benefit from terrain. So just gonna slide on out of here. What on earth is this bomber movement? There's an anti-air right here. Oh, for some reason I thought this anti-air covered the other anti-air, but no, the buddy system did not follow through. Never mind. It is a plus 50% APC, but a Neo tank at what, plus 70% or 80% firepower thanks to the comm tower too. I think that does it. Mega tank rolls are the most expensive rolls in the game. Well, it was. I was saying if Yellow Comet used super. So far, we're just sitting on the super. No, it could because Yellow Comet would super. Because you get perfect movement. Okay. Cobalt Ice has managed to get the income lead again. Ooh. Mega Tank kills the Neo Tank. You can see how strong they are. Neo Tank's sitting on a missile platform. Mega Tank cares not. Double Bomber Strike. And then the Neo Tank Strike. You can see how beefy these guys are. But the 5 Healthcopter manages to finish it off. That's a big deal. Because now, what deals with this Mega Tank? There's nothing around here that really likes to fight it. Fighter is out of range of these bombers. There is one anti-air that can reach. Killing off the APC would be good to deal with the... help slow down the Mega Tank. Ooh, we actually have a fighter to zone the fighter. This could be the final turning point. Oh, there we go. Take out the APC. Now there's nothing to refuel the Mega Tank unless it goes onto a city. Breakthrough over here to hit an artillery. One bomber does get tagged by an anti-air. City gets stopped from being gets saved. Another bomber. Lots of infantry. Ooh. But for this to be in the middle of a brawl, Cobalt Ice is way ahead. Especially because 28k is in a battleship and 12k is in a lander. Okay. Mech tank strike. Infantry strikes over here. Down goes a copter. There's nothing on this side to deal with air, but I guess that's okay. I mean, the fighter can kill off the bomber and then just be a really annoying blocker, I guess. Well, Ice ends the turn 70k up in unit value. Not bad. It is, of course, a brawl, so you can never trust these numbers too much. Although there doesn't seem to be very good attacks here for Yellow Comet. Kind of running out of steam. We're at 26 infantry versus 21. All the vehicles are one-ofs. It's 26 infantry and a whole bunch of one-ofs. We have a replacement APC. Mega Tank is on a infantry hunt. With the fighter first strike right next to an anti-air. No fear. Well, ooh, that does mean that this fighter isn't going to be super scary against this bomber that's trying to threaten the battleship. Okay. This does mean that the battleship is effectively re-engaged. Its contribution to the army is again relevant. You can kill off that artillery. Looks like this bomber is safe. There's only this one anti-air to kill off this fighter. It can't kill off. It's overloaded. There are 3 air units that would like to fight. After the copter, Mega Tank goes down to 0 ammo. Very risky for Mega Tanks. There's only one Neo Tank in range. Oh, there's also a bomber. So this might be the end of the Mega Tank pretty shortly here. We'll see. Although Prime Tactics will probably keep it alive. There is an APC. Okay, more captures going down here. Still not a huge 70k value lead. Terrain Tactics. counter the prime tactics. You have the bomber and then the Neo Tank strike. It lives at 4. Ooh, not very many attacks other than that. At the end of that turn, still behind in unit value and unit count and income. This is, ooh, now 6k. This might be the end of quite a brutal game. Down goes the Neo Tank. Infantry start getting picked off. Bomber got hit too. Over 100,000 value up. And there's the resign GG at day 53. $1280 is their ranking. Very nice. I thought for sure Yellow Comet was going to win that with that huge attack up here going for both labs. I think that terrain tactics really ended up costing that attack though. But that was very back and forth. No map channel. Well, there you go. At least this is, I think this is what you envisioned as your perfect game on this map. You made it. So well done. That was over an hour. You love every single turn on it. It was good. We have Palmer versus Dip 33. Sasha versus Von Bolt. This is probably my favorite matchup in Tier 1. They have the two COs have very different strengths that would seem to be really good against each other, and they can leverage them to different ends. Ooh, okay, we're gonna go for fast artillery here with Palmer, probably to break this pipe seam. Looks like both players are thinking the same thing there. When it comes to just the infantry combat, Palmer's gonna be way better. So I do like some aggressive infantry moves. And usually, if you're playing Sasha against Von Bolt, you want to rely more on indirects and tech ups rather than just like spamming copters, because copters with extra stats, especially extra defense, are an absolute nightmare to deal with in copter wars. So Sasha usually gets her advantage by having the indirects that don't care too much about the extra defense, and those tech ups that can kind of just ignore the extra defense. The next stream, which will happen tonight, assuming I'm feeling well enough, is just going to be scouring the live games and chilling. Okay, so it looks like Dip 33 has gone recon. He's going for went artillery into like double recon tank, anti-air recon. So usually for recon openings, I would prefer going for them first rather than artillery into recon. I don't think it's that big of a deal to break this pipe seam so early. Although it does give your opponent quite a bit of information as to when you break the pipe seam, as to how far out you could be with your vehicles. I'm totally fine with Sasha going with a nice recon opener. Be nice and be very aggressive, especially against Bumble, who's probably going to be feeling very comfortable with these infantry on infantry fights. So the recons can turn that table. And you can see if your opponent was, if like this recon was built earlier, it would already be fighting. And Bumble wouldn't have anything for quite a while to actually deal with it. Can I say at the end of the stream in how many hours the next stream starts? Sure, I can do that. It will be in 11 hours after this one started. I did change your opponent's name, yeah. I do that sometimes. If I deem the name inappropriate, I will change it. I have that power. Okay. We have quite the move down here with all these vehicles. For dip 33. Ooh. This is a very aggressive move that it looks like it's going to work out here, but I would not recommend doing this in Fog of War in particular. You don't want to have your anti-air on the front lines, because that's just begging to get hit by some reinforcing tank, killed off, and then suddenly these copters are completely unanswerable. And you become really sad. Ooh, okay, fast rocket does make sense for Sasha against Von Bolt, assuming you actually have like a solid front. I changed the player's name in the only in this program. I'm not going on the website. It's okay, I'm going to find a miserable pile of secrets. I don't know if I can do it in here. No. When you're looking at the replay list, you can right click on the replay and change the name of the player. It was a feature that I requested specifically for names that I did not deem appropriate. Okay, this barely survives. Things are looking really good for Palmer. The rocket I do think is going to be a good unit in this matchup, but it does mean that there's going to be quite the lull in reinforcements. When it shows up, although you can see the really good infantry attacks. Artillery does get tagged here. Dip 33 does clean up over here pretty nicely. So it's going to be up. When this kind of happens and you lose a bunch of units all at once, it's really important that you don't just send your reinforcements in directly, because your opponent's units have now kind of grouped up and can support each other. And if you just send the reinforcements alone, you'll have like 2 or 3 units showing up like, alone and just getting wiped out by being like outpositioned by unit count. I don't know if I can change those names. I probably can though. I should test that. Have a good one, Surge. Anti-air gets a nice kill on this copter. Ooh, okay, so this is complete. I do like how these guys are grouping up, much like I said. It does look like we're just going to have a complete swap of these corners, which I think is pretty expected on this map. Pretty good vision with our nice 4 health infantry. Sadly, doesn't see the artillery. Ooh, very sad to not see the artillery. Ooh, okay, nice front switch by Palmer. No reason to kind of go into the lion's den over here. Recon moves up, clears the infantry, the last infantry over here for Palmer. We have the market crash. Tank does get taken out. Then this anti-air gets spotted. Okay. You get to shoot this tank. Recon comes in. This artillery, I think, should be known about. Ooh, okay. I thought we would see just a big front switch, which I think would be the correct play here, is to just send everything up here rather than kind of bothering to fight over here at all. But this is still looking pretty decent as is. The Palmer, who's currently up 1 property, 23 against 22. We have the Bomble Palmer. Tank comes through, diving in. Copter gets finished off. Rocket is in position. Does have to be a little bit careful. It will die to a Bombolt tank, no problem. Air finishes off this artillery. Ooh. And this comm tower is under pressure. Yeah, it's going to start being captured here. That would make it a triple comm tower Von Bolt versus single comm tower Sasha. Doesn't sound very appealing to me. Very gutsy to send that tank forward, though. A little alone over there, sitting on shoals. Okay, the anti-air does get hit. Oh, there's no replacement anti-air right now. It does mean that these 2 copters from Sasha could get some serious work done. Second one over here. Copter can come in and hit this guy. We're up to capture. We do have a market crash. Bring a lot of the charge. This can often happen in Sasha versus Von Bolt. And sometimes what you'll do is Sasha is you'll have one turn where you do nothing but infantry buys so that you can drain an entire Von Bolt bar. On the next turn. Lots of good attacks over here. We still have the tank. The tank is deciding whether or not it wants to kill this rocket. I know it's a difficult decision. Okay. Recon gets trapped and then tank dies. Tank decides, you know what? Oh my gosh, it lived. I don't know if that was a roll. I probably, I don't know. I might have joined cap that just to force this copter to attack it again. Okay, we go straight to a fighter to deal with the copters. All right. Team tank. It's a 2-2 trade. Down goes the copter over here. This is still looking pretty decent for Palmer in this front. Actually managed to somehow save this city from being captured. We're at 26 properties against 22. Which it does have to use the power. There goes the anti-air. Things get wiped out. Starting to take this city back. Just kind of fall back a tiny bit over here. This is looking really nice. Provided no overextensions happen. I think Palmer's pretty much got this. This is very happy artillery, assuming it gets vision. Yeah, there's still no anti-air over here, but there's now the fighter that will be able to reach. Fighter's flat. Down goes the copter. Very good artillery shot. Anti-air versus anti-air. What does this bomber decide to do? It sadly doesn't have great vision about what's in the darkness, so it doesn't know what it can actually attack without getting punished. Looks like it goes after the 3 health tank. It's a tiny bit risky, but it's probably fine. You're mostly just avoiding his rocket this game. Ooh, we're gonna set up for a front shift. Maybe. There isn't a lot of infantry left for Sasha, which is going to make every front shift a lot worse. Because what you want to do is have your vehicles shifting onto a front that has infantry, so you can both fight back the enemy and then also take the properties. At this point, it looks like Palmer's taking a very respectable approach, very slowly pressing forward, getting the trades that they can, while just capturing the outskirts cities. This infantry is deep in enemy territory. Just got found out at the very end. Striking the infantry. Okay. Mech gets taken out. We do have this nice mountain to see the world. Ooh, medium tank, no fear. Charge forward. Great recon scouting here. Does have an artillery to cover it, although I don't know if the artillery is staying here. It looks like it is. Okay. Huge unit value lead here for Von Bolt, which is definitely not what you want to see as a Sasha player. But these leads can kind of vanish if too big of an overextension happens. So it's very important that Palmer doesn't like dive forward and find out there's a whole bunch of indirects to kill off the units. I like the approach on this comm tower. Do break through here, kill off that copter. There's nothing walling this tile, which is what I would like. But I think this isn't a real attempt at the comm tower. It's just to force a response. It has to dive into our artillery range. The black boat, yeah. You know, it drops off something every now and again. Looks like it's going to drop off double mech. Oh, never mind. We have blocked off the spot. Ooh, there's nothing to actually stop this capture now. So that's now triple comm tower Von Bolt. And at that point, the firepower is going to be absolutely ridiculous. This is This is almost, not quite, but almost Advanced Wars 1 max levels of firepower for Vumble. Hey, Dallos. Mexico dropped off. Dallos, you missed quite the game at the start. Yeah, at this point, it's looking super GG. Especially once this comm tower falls. Then it will be Advanced Wars 1 max levels of power. Just march forward. Our 29 properties against 19. Okay. Starts at 17k. War bonds. Killing a Neo tank on a war bonds is always good. Hit the bomber. And then resign. Oh, didn't change the name there. So 17k over doubled the money. So GG. Well played, Palmer. It was a very methodical game, and it worked out very nicely. No overextension. You can see when people don't overextend, the game can be really tough to make it back into. I think he was seeing how much the super could get for fun too. A carrier death in standard, yeah. Alright, brasmak, you're up next. This is what it looks like. I can edit username. And I will edit that user in all of the games. Oh, this is the wrong brasmak game. This is the brasmak. This might not be submitted by brasmak. You don't like this map much? This one is submitted by you. I'll let you get 2 games in. Classic Adder versus Jake, yeah. That's tier 4 for you. Okay, so this map I feel like this is Marengo. It's a very classic fog map. And I feel like it has a almost solved early game with how good the APC is. Whoa, brasmak, what is this? Okay. Double city skip. Okay, so brasmak's got a new opening for me here. So far, I'm not a huge fan, because now this APC has no one to pick up. So normally you'd have this guy finish here, and then the other one go up here to go for the airport. And then since he finished, he can then hop into the APC next turn. You came up with it yourself? Okay. Ooh, StarDrifter is not going for an APC opener. So, normally with the APC opener, you see if I can even remember how this works. You like drop off here, go for this property. This is also differently timed. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to try and remember it right now. But there's it gets you like 3 or 4 properties faster and a lot more control over here. And the real weakness to the transport opening is it makes you want to go for this property, and it's always a bad idea. Okay, so we're going to get this one faster. The original person that made the APC opener was Zeronix. And Zeronix would go with APC opener, APC with a recon follow-up for the recon to try and control this as you boost your infantry into it. Whoa, StarDrifter with a base skip. If I was going to base skip on this map, I would base skip this base because it's the double base and it's the furthest back base. Definitely not this base that's always going to be hungry for unit count and has captures actively to go for. But maybe StarDrifter's got an idea that I don't. And this infantry is going to be very crucial. I'll try and... I sadly can't name a unit. Otherwise I would. And we could just track that unit through the game. Okay, drop off over here. Nice tank follow-up. You got to be pretty careful on your one base side to... Usually you want to go for some fast tech ups to hold it. Because the one base side on this map is both isolated by this river and mountains, and it starts up really late because there's this long walk to get to it. So the two base side has a lot of time to exert pressure on it. So usually to stabilize over there, you have to go for some tech ups or like a bunch of indirects along with the infantry. Let's call him Fred and keep an eye on him. There he goes. Marching the good march. Ow. I probably would have killed off this infantry. If the recon doesn't see a tank having come out here, I think it's pretty safe to attack. Okay, we do have the comm tower for brasmak here, and there's already something that can strike to interrupt here, assuming it doesn't get captured first. Okay, this is the property that is never a good idea to go for, in my experience. It's a pretty big overextension to fight over, and there's always units ready to interrupt. So it's better to just go onto this mountain and try and deny the city instead. Alright, Fred, where did you go? This is you marching forward. Okay, tank finishes off the recon. That recon definitely dived really far forward there. So do we have infantry reveals comm tower, infantry strikes at comm tower? We must. We do have tank backup over here. No! What is that? Okay. Well, luckily for StarDrifter, brasmak chilled out on the offense. and we'll get this comm tower. Alright, Fred. Wow me. Thank you, Fred. You're getting close to a capture. Pop. Infantry finishes it off. Yeah, runs back here. Looking good. You clear it and then start capturing it. Okay, that also works. There's no anti-air over here yet. We do have a mech brought along though. Anti-air's on his way. So usually you don't want to fight like the... So what's happening here is that StarDrifter is way overextended, is fighting within base range. So all of these unit trades, it might look fairly even. It's like, I lost a tank, you lost a tank. But this tank has been on the map for like 4 or 5 turns to get over here, where these tanks are built 1 turn. They're like the relative investment per player is massively different. So tempo wise, it's a huge win for brasmak. Trade these kind of tanks off. It's something that brasmak can continue to do forever on a moment's notice. But for StarDrifter to keep up this fight, he would have to have been building tanks for the last 5 turns. Fred's right here. Now Fred's right here. Charge into the front lines. Pop. I probably would have struck from the forest still, just because you're Jake. Or not the Jake, I'm from the forest, from the plains. Ball back, anti-air, looking good. Two, 3, 4, 5. The medium tank wouldn't reach. A neo tank would reach. That's fine. Just at a medium tank range. But yeah, a sudden tech up would also just completely make the fight one-sided. Ooh, very gutsy with these copters on StarDrifter's part. Again, I really don't like leading fights with copters in fog. If we're looking at like... So pretty much the dream scenario with this attack is that you kill a 4 health tank and don't get any counter damage to it. Same with like this, you kill off an infantry. And that's the dream payoff. That's that your opponent, after all this time, does not have an anti-air in range. Where the more likely scenario is going to be you lose, like you trade a copter for a 4 health tank, which is never a good trade. At least in a neutral scenario, this situation. Or you lose a copter for an infantry. So I much prefer using copters in fog in more like as counter units in the back lines. Like a tank attacks you and then in your own line of units, your copter can hit that tank and then another tank comes up and finishes that off. And then suddenly your tank isn't, your copter isn't so exposed. It just gets picked off like this. Which is like the lesson I learned to go from 1100 to one of the first 1400s, I think. Or 1300s. I was just throwing away so many copters in my games. Going for those, like, they just won't have an anti-air. And then, of course, they have an anti-air. Fred, I lost Fred. Come back. This is Fred. What did Fred Fred do? Ah, Fred got a kill. Good job, Fred. Cool. Fred's life flashes before Fred's eyes right there. Fred is still in good health. The infantry down here I can't say quite so much for. StarDrifter kills off this mech. Tank shots. Does Fred kill off a tank? Oh, Fred's going for the comm tower. If Fred gets the comm tower, which does not seem very likely, then I'll take back everything I said about building Fred in comparison up here instead of down here. It will have been the biggest brain play ever. Okay, we have a block rock, so don't think things are looking too good for Fred. That was Fred's friend, gone. Look away, look away. No. Goodbye, Fred. You tried. You definitely put in your all. I can't deny that. That was a pretty decent block rock. You could have revenge action trying to take his comm tower. Yeah. Rest in peace, Fred. Okay. A little bit of fighting over here, but not much. We dive in over here though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the copter's out of range of this anti-air, so that's pretty safe attack. StarDrifter did manage to get both corners, which is pretty nice. We'll see how long this corner holds. I even forward to get that kill. All back here. It's not so bad. It's kind of like trading a 4 health tank for a 4 health tank. Although you don't really want to be fighting tanks so close to the enemy's base for the same reason you want to be fighting like right over here. The tempo loss is pretty extreme. It's a lot easier to replace a tank here than it is to replace, or for a StarDrifter to replace a tank here than it is for a brasmak here. Ooh, we have a missile. I'm assuming the missile's dream is to get into one of these forests and pop off, take out a copter. Neither of the annoying cities have been captured as day 14. This is what happens with these cities. Although it looks like brasmak might actually manage to take this one. Never mind, I take that back. I'm telling you. Just work on denying them. Don't try and take them. It always works out like this. You always lose everything. Ah, that missile's one tile away. What? The missile's moving down this way. Okay. StarDrifter is still enjoying a nice 2k income lead. This is very daring to go for. There's a pretty strong attack behind it, so I can respect it. Some nice intel with this recon. Peace recon. You know, I don't know if I've ever seen a beatdown for a singular missile strike before. Ooh. The internet has started to stutter at the end of the stream here. We can watch the beatdown missile hit, right? That was pretty much the only use of the beatdown. There's a little bit of an attack over here. Is the stream dead? Oh. Oh no, the internet is definitely not happy. I wonder why. I mean, it's it must be the time of day. Stream is good, but you just came back. Ooh, the upload speed's like a third of what it should be. Well, we'll try and get through the game. Oh, man. That would be 2 hours. Okay. Ooh, StarDrifter's going for the city. He's almost got it. The missile got a battlecopter kill, so that's now a positive value missile. And the stream is dead again. Yeah, okay. This part will have to... Lots of copters used here, which makes sense playing as Adder. Yeah, the missile... I don't know. The internet just completely died on me here. The missile did manage to get another kill. Well, I'm going to quickly check to see how many turns are left in this game. Okay. So I'll finish this game up before calling the stream there. Again, the city gets interrupted. But there's quite a few to help out. Oh. This stream's just popping in and out. Oh, it's okay. It's now pointing out, the stream itself to me is pointing out that it's dying. Oh yeah, the stream's super acting up. I'm gonna just get through the end of this game, and hopefully it's watchable through the VOD. The missile has gotten its third copter kill though, which does allow for a block rock. Another copter over here with these anti-airs. Still manages to stop the city from being captured. Clear the way. That's still a ton of StarDrifter tanks though. Just left alive on the front lines. The penguins be rioting. The side slip from StarDrifter again. All of these anti-airs getting beat up, but there's only one copter on the front line left. Man, look at all those tank strikes. The medium tank from brasmak is holding down this area pretty nicely. The city is going to flip. Brasmak kills off this recon. He's probably going to kill off this infantry too. Actually lives at 2. I was not expecting quite that much health, but that's the plus 10% defense there. Actually, the 2 health infantry did enough damage to chip a health off this anti-air. Okay. Neither player is currently going for these captures. This one can still be interrupted for brasmak by this infantry. Now, these HQs are very vulnerable to being captured because, again, there's heavy terrain by them, so it's easy to block it off. StarDrifter is not a Star Flash. Oh, okay. Brasmak is going for this capture. Brasmak has this corner. What's it? Now we're back at even income. StarDrifter moving forward with some very aggressive captures going on here. Does have quite a few units to support them. You can definitely respect the effort. Oh my gosh, Brasmak is actually going to get the city, as well as clear off and go for this corner city. Do we have... This anti-air can sacrifice itself to try and stall this capture, which we might see happen. Well, okay. Knocked it down to 3. Does this missile move, or is it happy where it is? It's happy where it is. I don't know if Brasmak has even built a copter. Which would explain how there was so many vehicles on the front lines for StarDrifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copters on the field versus 0, and then straight to a Neo tank. Only have one. Oh no, we have 2 anti-airs alive. Okay, and of course the missile. Brasmak now up 3k income. Oh, this city is going to get captured for StarDrifter, so they do both manage to get their own contested city. You didn't build one. Okay. StarDrifter uses normal power here because after these mechs, usually you would see Adder with the mechs rather than Jake, but anyone can get used to the mechs. Goodbye mech, taken out by anti-air. The missile is going to get to fire and kill another copter. I think that'll be the 4th copter kill on a missile. It's pretty happy. Pop. Another city going down. Anti-air. There's a lot of anti-airs for StarDrifter for there never being a copter built. But they do also deal with mechs very nicely. Oh, StarDrifter might be able to get the corner back here. Oh, Brasmak's last forward anti-air over here gets taken out. There's definitely some infantry getting mighty close to the HQ here. Okay, there's no copters in range of the missile anymore. Oh, this recon somehow survives untouched, so we can just deny the city capture. There, just finish off that copter. Maybe he gets the kill over here. Brasmak is now also threatening to go for an HQ capture. Neo tank built. Oh, we do have a transport copter. So while the unit count is still looking pretty good for StarDrifter, that's a pretty large unit value deficit. Although getting a hit on a medium tank is going to help with that for sure. Copters come in. Go after a bunch of tanks. Okay, now something comes back to deal with this recon. Ooh, very unfortunate for this Neo tank. I didn't even notice it. And I had perfect vision that there is an artillery staring at that spot. It suddenly makes the Neo tank attack much worse. Bit of a beat down. Which is going to let the missile get yet another attack off. Pop. think that was kill number 5. Copters are secretly carrying my Wi-Fi. I've always been rather dismissive of missiles, you know. I've got to disrupt the message. Very nice use of these recons so far to just harass infantry. Okay, and like 40k in unit value. $15 copters got built. 80. And the stream just skipped to the end of the game. GG. StarDrifter should definitely know the position of the missile. Stream lags are caused by copters. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this morning's stream, despite me being sick and the internet apparently also being sick. All those copters all taken out by a missile. Well, not all. A third of them. So GG, I leave you with an apple. Thanks for watching. I think brasmak, you joined the membership, so I will get another emoji up for you guys, as it will have been unlocked for me.